Tonight, Port Augusta Prison placed into lockdown after a white powder contamination scare, and Lower Eyre Peninsula residents set for a rate hike.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening, thanks for your company. Sections of the Port Augusta prison were placed into lockdown after a letter containing an unknown white powder was discovered. 2 staff members were taken to hospital for assessment. Garth Burley has more.
The incident occurred just after 10 this morning when staff in the administration building discovered an unknown white powder in the mail. Staff were evacuated from the building with the hazardous materials units of the fire service called in to test the substance. 2 female prison officers exposed to the powder were separated from the rest of the workforce and rushed to hospital for a medical assessment. Both were not injured by the substance. It's understood the administration section was still in lockdown even this afternoon. The Corrections Department telling 7 Spencer Gulf News that these type of incidents are common and has trusted procedures in place to deal with them. The MFS says the nature of the letter within the prison area means investigations will be handed over to police. Some questions still remain unanswered. What is the substance? Who sent it? And who was it intended for? Police say this letter was mailed to cause fear, and those involved will face the heavy hand of the law.
While police are investigating a break-in at the TAFE campus, a window was smashed and confectionery goods were stolen at around 4:30 Friday morning. CCTV shows a person leaving the scene on a royal blue mountain bike, wearing a balaclava, dark clothing and black helmet. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Lower Eyre Peninsula residents could be hit with a 4% rate rise next financial year. The increase is part of the council's $15.8 million draft budget.
Fixing and upgrading the region's roads, a key priority for the Lower Eyre Peninsula Council outlined in their business plan, with $4 million going into road upgrades. The main development, 25 kilometres of Bratton Way.
It's been an ongoing project that we've known about for a couple of years and been dealing with. Was $1.6 million for that.
$1 million of that coming from the federal government.
Through the Special Local Roads Program grant funding money. So that project is contingent on that money being received.
The council also pledging $700,000 towards resheeting rubble roads, a big ticket item for locals.
I would love to see the road extended, the bitumen, from where it finishes now at least through to Sleaford Bay, because it's such a beautiful place there at Sleaford.
Another big ticket item is the district's waste management scheme, which chews up more than 15% of rate revenue. The council proposing a rate increase close to 4%.
If we've got to pay more, we're going to have to pay more, but no, I'm not greatly in favour of an increase.
If you want these services and we need them, you've got to pay for them.
The council is currently taking public feedback to the end of the month. Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A Port Pirie High School will be one of 3 in South Australia to introduce Year 7s into secondary school. Local families have put their hands up to have their kids pave the way.
Making the switch to high school. 97 Port Pirie Year 6 students will jump the gun, starting high school a year before the rest of their South Australian peers.
There's more learning experience and more hands-on stuff at high school instead of primary school.
John Pirie Secondary School has been handpicked along with 2 Adelaide schools for the pilot project.
At the moment, we're targeting 4 classes of Year 7s.
School principal Roger Nottage says he's excited to give Port Pirie locals a head start.
The only regional school in the state really shows a lot about the confidence the community, but also the wider educational community in South Australia have for what we're doing here.
For the Walkup family, it's an exciting proposition.
And I've also got 2 older students already at the school, so it was an easy decision for us to make for her to tag along with the girls.
And parents won't need to be concerned about their children missing out on Year 7 milestones.
They've designed their own Year 6 t-shirts the other day. They're having their own graduation, which she was really excited about.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A mining company has earmarked Broken Hill as an operations base for a potential iron ore project. Lodestone Equities hopes to be unearthing iron ore in the region within the next 5 years.
Broken Hill's mining industry has a bright future ahead.
We believe we have the largest magnetite province in the world, in South Australia and in New South Wales.
The O'Leary Creek project contains over 500 million tonnes of high-grade magnetite ore, a mineral in high demand all over the world. The potential resource spans from the edges of Broken Hill all the way down to Burra.
This is a 100-year provincial project. We talk of geological provinces, and this is one of those.
Mr. Tull says Broken Hill has a wealth of mining experience. If the project gets up, maintenance jobs will be created in town.
Well, we won't do much component repair or maintenance on site. We'll bring it all back here, and that'll create opportunities.
The company is aiming to start production by 2022. They're currently focusing on securing funding for a bankable feasibility study.
Next year, 2020, to do that and to do detailed engineering, and then we'll have a build-out starting 2021 and production late 2022.
Patrick Ryanke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, wireless playgrounds set for major upgrades and regional beaches to receive some much-needed TLC. Welcome back. Surface upgrades of 3 Whyalla playgrounds is nearly complete. It comes after a council maintenance program identified these areas unsafe for children.
Hop, skip and jump away. The Whyalla Foreshore playground upgrade nearly complete.
Putting down play matter tiles to increase the impact attenuation in the rubber.
Some safety concerns for our young children that are using the playgrounds, and we made a decision that they needed to be replaced as quickly as possible.
The Whyalla Childcare Centre and Ocean Air playgrounds are also receiving surface upgrades. Wood chip softball was the material of choice.
Decided to go back to a natural product rather than a rubberised product, but it was about what's the best surface for the environment that it's in.
It's been a big job, this one. It's been probably near up 8, 10, 9 days, I reckon, by the time we're finished.
The upgrades come after a safety audit.
We have a regime in place now where an officer goes around and regularly checks all our playgrounds.
The actual play equipment has been given the tick of approval, and this playground will be reopened within the next week.
Thank you for your patience. We know this is a well-used facility on our beautiful foreshore.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Lincoln local Zelma Tolley has been recognised for her work in rural health. Zelma accepted the 7 News Young Achiever Award for setting up the Postnatal Project, a programme offering support for those experiencing postnatal depression.
I've been getting lots of interest. People at playgroup and down the street are stopping me to congratulate me, and it's been really good to get perinatal wellness out into the media as well.
Zelma is currently setting up a support group, offering families a safe space to discuss parenthood. For more information, contact the Postnatal Project on Facebook. Ag innovators across regional South Australia are being urged to apply for a future Young Leaders program. The program encourages forward thinking in the agricultural or food tech industries. 8 will be selected to present their passion or research at a major conference in Melbourne next year. South Australia's regional coastlines will receive $4 million to help repair and restore vulnerable areas. The Copper Coast Council are hoping to see some funding allocated to Wallaroo.
Implementing a tide of change. The South Australian government announcing $4 million to shore up regional coastlines.
This is a quadrupling of the Regional Coastal Funding Grant Scheme because we've identified that there are a lot of challenges along South Australia's extensive coastline.
From sand drift to sand build-up, Wallaroo's beaches have faced some serious challenges. The Australian dream of an esplanade view has come at a cost. Local plants, the first line of defence against the march of sand inland, no longer exist.
Where people are trying to use the beach, where people have got their holiday homes on the beach, and this sand is a really fine sand.
The Copper Coast Council hopes to receive a grain of that funding to help fix the sand build-up.
So we're hoping that with the announcement yesterday that the state government are going to help fund those coastal repairs.
Movement of a sand dune into a residential area, which has been caused by man-made interference, and we really want to work with the local community to correct that.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Whyalla City Council has awarded 3 locals with traineeships. They're ready to launch their careers and gain hands-on experience across the infrastructure department.
A boost in local employment.
Training and developing our young people in our community. And so we've put on 3 new trainees and they're 2 or 3 year traineeships depending on their area.
I'm so grateful that the council gave me this opportunity. It means a lot for me and my family. Just being Whyalla born and then working in Whyalla is going to be great.
A council program in partnership with the Career Employment Group.
We're all aged from 21 to 23.
And they'll earn a TAFE Certificate 3 in their areas after completion.
An arborist, a civil works and a horticultural trainee, and they started with us this Monday. So the 3 of them are already excited.
Up and coming career options are specialised to improve the Whyalla community.
I think I'll be planting trees, watering trees, cutting down trees, just working with trees really in general.
By skilling up young people but providing these opportunities, we can deliver a high level of service to our communities.
And Council CEO Chris Cowley says the initiative should encourage local businesses to follow suit.
That we feel that at this time in Whyalla's history, we now are in an excellent position to be able to reinvest in our young people.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. We'll have the latest on your local fuel prices, and Britt will have the weather details. Hello again. A local Port Lincoln photographer is gaining national attention over this photo of an osprey carrying a snook. Photographer Christine Giorgio says she's always got a camera nearby to capture the region's wildlife. The picture's gone viral, being shared in Adelaide, Cairns and Sydney. What a shot. Staff at Broken Hill Regional Art Gallery say they've seen an influx of entries for this year's Pro Heart Outback Art Prize. Hundreds of artists from around Australia have entered the prestigious competition.
A new record.
Closed on the 31st of May and we've got 382 entries, which is more than we've ever had.
The Pro Heart Outback Art Prize is an annual competition named after the famous Broken Hill artist. It showcases work in all forms with a focus on the spirit and diversity of the Australian outback. Miss Callaghan says the reception to this year's prize has been overwhelming.
A few hundred in the last few days. So it's actually pretty nerve-wracking when you're watching it from our end and it's looking like it might be low, and then in the last few days always a couple of hundred.
25 of them come from Silver City artists. They'll now be judged by a 5-person panel and narrowed down to about 40 finalists. Those remaining will be part of an exhibition, with opening night seeing a winner announced.
$20,000 acquisitive first prize, so that means that the artist gets $20,000 and the gallery gets to put that work in our wonderful permanent collection.
The Outback Art Prize finalist exhibition will be launched on July 19.
Proudly sponsored by the Hart family for this prize as well, which we're really lucky, and they continue to be really supportive.
Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Time for a look at Bowser prices across the region. Here's Patrick with Fuel Watch.
It's actually been a good week at local Bowsers. The start of June has seen plenty of green. Starting with unleaded, and most of the Spencer Gulf townships are on the way down. Port Lincoln is still the most expensive but has dropped to $1.53. Whyalla is breaking even on a cheap $1.40. Port Pirie is 3 cents higher after seeing a nice decline. Port Augusta's on $1.48, the same as Adelaide, which went down by almost 20 cents. Here in Broken Hill, it's back up into the 150s following a 3 cent spike. Turning over to diesel now, and Port Lincoln's price is starting to decrease. Whyalla, Port Augusta and Kadina are all paying the same at $1.50. Port Pirie is about 2 cents cheaper at $1.48. Red again for Broken Hill, we're up to $1.57. Adelaide has seen a little bit of movement. Finishing off with a quick look at Autogas, and there's not too much to report. Port Lincoln is on the way up at 95 cents, Whyalla 99, Port Augusta 89, Broken Hill 91 and Adelaide is 84. All those mentioned are breaking even. Port Pirie is paying 90 cents a litre. Kadina is doing 1 cent better on 89, the same as Port Augusta. Now remember, these prices are the regional averages and they do not reflect any one particular outlet. And if you do find a spot that does sell unleaded, auto gas or diesel for cheaper, be sure to let us know on our Facebook page.
And time to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Britt.
Thanks, John.
We've had a mostly sunny day across the region. Port Augusta with a top of 16 degrees, Whyalla, Port Lincoln, Port Pirie and Adelaide all 15, Broken Hill just 13 degrees. From the satellite we can see that high pressure system below the Bight still moving towards the east, with easterly winds tomorrow tending northeasterly at up to 15 knots and seas below 1 metre. The sun will rise just before 7:20 with sunset at 5:17 in the evening. Taking a closer look at tomorrow now, with morning frost expected over areas of the mid-north as well as the west coast and around Port Augusta. And the overnight low is expected to dip below 0 at Clare. We're looking at maximum temperatures in the mid to low teens. Port Augusta, Coffin Bay, Woodna and Port Pirie all 16. Whyalla, Port Lincoln, Corn, Cleve, Kadina and Adelaide 15. A top of 13 at Broken Hill, Clare 12. And moving ahead to the end of the week now, Port Lincoln remaining fine until Sunday with a high chance of showers. Maximum temperatures remaining constant in the mid-teens. Cleve looking much the same with tops of 16 through the weekend. Woodna sitting pretty on 17 through the end of the week. Whyalla, Port Augusta and Kadina all looking sunny on Friday, mostly fine on Saturday ahead of showers on Sunday, with maximum temperatures all in the mid to late teens. And Port Pirie can expect much the same, tops of 17 Friday and Saturday with showers on Sunday. Clare a little bit colder with a maximum of 14 both Friday and Saturday. And Broken Hill will warm up towards the end of the week with a fine and partly cloudy 20 degrees expected on Sunday. And with that, John, it's back to you.
Thanks, Brett. And that's your local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks so much for your company. I'll have some updates later on in the evening, but until then, enjoy your evening here on 7. On behalf of the team, it's good night.